Hello and welcome to Just My Cup of Crochet. In this tutorial we're going to have a look at the ridge ripple. So for this tutorial we're working multiples of 12, and then after we've done our multiples of 12 we add 3 to the end. For this tutorial I'm just going to do a small swatch piece, so we're going to work off a chain of 36 and then we're going to add our 3 at the end. So here I've got a chain of 39. Right, the first thing we do is we go into the fourth chain from the hook. So we go 1, 2, 3, there's our fourth, and we work a treble. That's a UK treble. There we go, so we end up with this. Next we're going to treble into the next 3 stitches along. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now what you should have is a chain 3 and 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4. So next we're going to be doing treble 2 together. So to do this we go into the stitch, into the chain, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've half done a treble. We're going to yarn over, we're going to go into the next stitch along, yarn over, pull through a loop, pull through 2. So this is what it should look like. You've got 3 loops left on your hook, you've worked into 2 stitches, and we're going to yarn over and pull through those 3 loops. Next we're going to repeat that into the next 2 stitches. So pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. It's the first half. So yarn over into the next stitch, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've got this here, yarn over again, and we're going to take those 3 loops off of our hook. So we've now just reduced 4 stitches down to 2. Next we're going to treble into the next 3 stitches along. So not this stitch, if you look close you can see that we've already worked into that stitch. So we're going to go into this next one along, pull through a loop, that's our regular treble there. That's 1, 2 and 3. That's our third one. There we go. So now your work should curl a little bit, but there, we've got our first dip. Next we're going to pop an increase in the next stitch along. So an increase is 2 trebles into 1 stitch. So that's 1 treble. Now we're going to go back into that same stitch and put another treble. There we go. So we've got 2 trebles there in that 1 stitch. Now we're going to repeat that in the next stitch along. So we're going to do 1 treble and 2. There we go. So now we've got 2 stitches made with into 4 with the 2 trebles in each. Now we're going to do 3 trebles in the next 3 stitches along. So we're going to go 1, 1, we'll go 2, we're going to do the 3rd. There we go. So you should see now that your work is really starting to show that wave. So we've got our first dip and our first hump, as I like to call them. Okay, so next, just done 3 trebles there. So we're now going to repeat our treble 2 together over the next 2 stitches. So that's there, into the next stitch along, there and pull through 3. So there we go again. Taken those 2 stitches and reduce them down to 1. I'm going to repeat that again in the next 2. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, take off 2. So we've half done a treble. And repeat into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have 3 on our hook again. Yarn over. We're going to pull through all 3 loops. So there we go. We've reduced those 4 stitches down to 2. And then we're going to repeat our 3 trebles into the next 3 stitches. So 1 treble in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Okay, so another dip there. So we've got dip and a dip, and we've just done those 3. So next we need to do our hump. So our hump is working 2 trebles into the next 2 stitches. So worked in that one, you can see you've got the treble coming from there. So go into the next one along, and we put 2 trebles into this stitch. So there's 1, and then there is a 2. There we go, 2. And then we're going to repeat that in the next stitch. There's 1 treble, and there's the second. So there's our next hump done. Here we go. So we're going to do 3 trebles in the next, 1 treble in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're back to doing our dip. So we're going to treble 2 together over the next 2 stitches. So if we find the next stitch, pop our hook in, half do a treble, there's 1, and we repeat that into the next stitch. 2, got 3 on our hook, we're going to yarn over and pull through 3. So there we go. Going to repeat that again into the next stitch along. So just being careful you're not going into this one, you're going into this next stitch along. Half do the treble, yarn over, and go into the next stitch along. Right, and there we go again. We pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so now what you should have is 4 chain stitches left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our normal 3 trebles. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then got 1 stitch. In this 1 stitch we're going to put 2 trebles. 1, 2. Okay, so you should have finished off on a dip. So we've got our dip and our rise, our dip and our rise or a hump and a dip. So this is what it should look like right now. Okay, so we're going to go on to do row 2. So we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to turn our work. So often with crochet, when we've chained 3 for a treble, we skip this stitch at the bottom of our chain 3. But for this pattern, we're going to put another treble into that stitch that we would normally skip. So that first stitch at the bottom of the chain 3, we're putting a treble in. Then, because this is a ridge ripple, we're going to be working in back loops from now. So we're going to do 3 trebles in the back loop only. So the back loop is the loop that is furthest away from you. So yarn over, so this loop here, that loop. This loop here is your front loop, this loop here is your back loop. So we're going to work in the back loop. That's treble number 2 and the third, all in the back loop. If you didn't want to, if you wanted to do the ridge but without the ripple effect, you would just carry on doing it into both loops as you would normally. Okay, so now we've done our chain 3 and our treble, and then we've done our 3 trebles in the back loop. Next we're on a dip. So as we're on a dip, we're going to go into the back loop of the first one, yarn over, and then we're going to go into the back loop of the second, yarn over, and we're going to end up again with our 3. So we've reduced those 2 stitches to 1. We're going to repeat that again. Yarn over, back loop. There we go. So that's what you should be looking at. And as usual, we're going to do our 1 treble in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And now we've done our 3, so next we're going to work 2 trebles into this next stitch, but still just back loop. So that's 1 treble, and that's 2 trebles. There we go. So we're working on our hump, so we're going to repeat that. That's 1 treble, and that's 2 trebles. There we go. So as you can see, starting to take shape here, we're getting this line through the middle, which is our ridge bit down here. So back to that 3 treble bit. So 1, 2, and 3. Quite possibly now you're seeing that there's a bit of a repeat going on here. So we always, each end will always have 2 trebles that aren't included in our ripple pattern. Then we do 3 trebles, 2 decreased stitches, 3 trebles, 2 increased stitches, and that is repeated throughout. So that's what gives us our wave. So now we've done our 3 trebles, we're going to do our 2 decreased stitches, still working in the back loop. So first of our decrease, our treble 2 togethers. There we go. That was 1. Still going over the 2 stitches, so that's 1 stitch, 2 stitch there, yarn over and pull through. So we've done our 2 decreases there. Okay, so as usual, we're now going to do our 3 trebles, so 1 treble in the next 3, so that's 1, 2, and 3. So we've got our decrease, decrease, 3 trebles. So after that we're doing our increases. So we're doing 2 2 trebles into the next 2 stitches. So that was 1 full treble. That's the second one gone in there. I'll show you. There we go, 2 trebles in that 1 back loop stitch, and we're going to repeat that. One and 2. There we go. And then our next part is 1 treble in the next 3 stitches. As you can see, I'm still just using my back loop because I want that ridge. Three. Right, there's our third. Okay, the last one we did was we had the 2 increase, 3 trebles, so that means we've got the 2 decrease now. So we yarn over to the back loop of the next stitch and do our half a treble like this. Yarn over into the back loop of the next stitch. There we go. So treble 2 together, that's 1, and repeat that again. Oh. 1 and into the next stitch. And pull through 3. Right, so that's our last dip. So it should be looking something like this now, and you should have 4 stitches left. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then the chain. There's our 4th. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work our normal 3 trebles in the back loop. That's 1, 2, 3. Right, for the end stitch, that last 4th stitch, we're going to put 2 trebles in it. So it is just there, just that one there. Can be a bit tricky, but we're going to use both parts of the stitch. We're not just going to use the back loop or the front loop. I'm going to pick up both parts. There we go. I'm going to put 2 trebles into this stitch. So that's 1. And back into that same hole we just had, and that's 2. There we go. So this is what we should have now. So you finished on a dip, you've got a hump and a dip, a hump and a dip. So we're just going to repeat that now all the way back. Going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, and we're going to pop our treble into the stitch at the bottom of our chain 3. So we've got our chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and the stitch at the bottom. Going to put our treble in using both parts of the stitch. And then we're just going to repeat the process back again. So part of the pattern, working in the back loop, is 3 trebles. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then we've got our dip, so over our dip we're going to pop in our treble 2 togethers. There we go. That was 1, then again back loop only, doing our 1 treble in the next 3 stitches, so that's 1, 2, and 3. That takes us to a hump. So in our hump we're going to put 2 trebles in the next 2 stitches, so that's 1, 2, and then the next stitch along here, back loop, that's 1 and 2. There you go. So we're going to repeat this all the way, so repeating 3 trebles, 2 decrease, 3 trebles, 2 increase, 3 trebles, 2 decrease, all the way to the end. I'll see you there in a moment. So here we are. We've worked all the way to the end. So we've done our 2 increases, 3 trebles, 2 decreases, all the way across. We finished off with our 2 decreases and 3 trebles, and now we have 1 stitch left. So with this 1 stitch we work across the whole stitch, not just the back loop now, the whole stitch. In there we pop 2 trebles. So that's the first, and then that's the second. There we go. So next, that makes us on the next line, and we're just going to keep repeating exactly what we've been doing. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work. We've got our chain 3, and we're going to pop a treble in that bottom stitch. Remembering for that one we use the whole stitch, not just the back loop. And then we're going to carry on repeating back loop, 3, 2 decrease, back 3 trebles in the back loop, 2 increase, until you've got it the size you want. Top tip is remember to keep counting your stitches. This is something that can't be bodged. You can't, if you go wrong, you need to pull it back and redo it. Any questions, just let me know. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this tutorial interesting and helpful for you. Many thanks.